श्रीमद स्वामी बोधेश्वरानंद जी महाराज को मैं अनुरोध करी सी वक्तव्य प्रदान करेंगे। विषय हूँ रामकृष्ण संघर संसार प्रति दुनिया प्रति कौन अच्छी अवदान अवदान कौन रामकृष्ण संघर ये हूँ विषय। ये विषय उपर महाराज ताकर वक्तव्य रखिए।
ओम स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। My salutations to Shri Ramakrishna Deva, Ma Sharada Devi, Swami Vivekananda, revered Swami Atmavidanand Ji Maharaj, Swami Atma Prabhanand Ji Maharaj, my dear brother monks and dear devotees. I deem it a great privilege to be present on this momentous day when we are celebrating the centenary of Ramakrishna Math, Bhubaneswar. 100 years is not a good deal. This institution will go on for 1,500 years. So as compared to that, 100 years is nothing. In the case of an individual, he lives for a maximum period of 100 years. But after 60 or 70 years, he is beset with so many problems. He overcomes so many diseases. He gets fed up with his life. He doesn't want to live anymore. But that is not the case with an institution. 100 years is just a childhood. So the ideal of an institution is Charaiveti, Charaiveti. So it has to go on. But 100 years is a big milestone. So this is a day of introspection for all of us. With what attitude this institution was started and how much we have been able to fulfill those aspirations and what we should do in future. So, Simhavalokanam, they say in Sanskrit. When a lion walks a good distance, he climbs on a mount and then looks back. How much distance he has covered and then how far he has to go. So today, we also have to think how much we have been able to achieve the ideals that have been kept before us by Shri Ramakrishna, Vivekananda and Ma Sharada Devi. So how far we have been able to fulfill those things. The Ramakrishna movement began when Shri Ramakrishna climbed on the terrace of Kuthivadi at Dakshineshwar. Then from there he called out loudly, "Where are you? Come ye all." So this divine call, even now also we are able to hear its vibration. And this vibration will go down for centuries together. So in response to this divine call by Shri Ramakrishna, young monastics, they came forward, they came around him and they learnt. And Shri Ramakrishna made Narendra as their leader. So Shri Ramakrishna, through his divine call, is unfolding the divine truth, a power through men and institutions. The Ramakrishna Mission or the Ramakrishna movement has become a big river, and it is leading us to Satchidananda Sagar. Those who allow ourselves to carry themselves to this Satchidananda Sagar, we don't have to do any effort. Simply we have to surrender at the lotus feet of Sri Ramakrishna. He will carry us across this Bhavasagar. So this work is going on. So if Ramakrishna movement is a big river, and in this Ramakrishna Mutt and Ramakrishna Mission, this forms the main river. And then so many other streams or tributaries also join with it. Sharda Mutt, they are sannyasins, where our monks are not able to go. They carry forward the message of Sri Ramakrishna Vivekananda to distant places. So this is another river or another stream which is joining the main stream. Then there are lakhs of devotees spread across the world who form the third stream joining the main river. Then apart from this, we find there are at least 1,200 private centers or unaffiliated centers in India. Then there are many study circles and meditation centers in different parts of the world. So they constitute the fourth stream. So like this river is going on. This is a confluence of several streams, and this will go on forever. The Vedanta movement in the West began with the Swami Vivekananda's appearance in the Parliament of Religions. Subsequently, he crisscrossed from East Coast to West Coast so many times. He worked very hard and preached the highest principles of Vedanta. In response to his hard work, so many Americans, men and women, they dedicated their lives for his sake. They helped him in various ways. And then Swami Vivekananda went to London. There also he gave so many lectures on Jnana Yoga. Swami Vivekananda, he sent 4 of his brother monks, Swami Turiyananda, Swami Shardananda, Swami Abhedananda, and Swami Trigunatita to London and America to preach Vedanta. They sowed the seeds of spirituality, which in course of time bore wonderful results. Then afterwards, many other Swamis went. As a result, so many centers in different parts of America and elsewhere came into existence. The highest or the biggest contribution of Swami Vivekananda is the founding or starting of Ramakrishna Mission. So that is the biggest one. And Sri Ramakrishna had told him, Naren, wherever you carry me on your shoulders and install me, whether it be under a tree or in a humble cottage, I will stay there peacefully. Swami Vivekananda, when he returned from the West, he established Belur Mutt. Earlier that monastery was in Baranagar Mutt, then afterwards it shifted to Alambazar Mutt. Then Swami Vivekananda brought it to Belur Mutt. So Sri Ramakrishna is living there even now. He tested him several times whether he is still living or not. Holy Mother, she also felt the divine presence of Sri Ramakrishna there. She had a wonderful vision. Yes, Sri Ramakrishna is there. Other direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna also felt the divine presence of Sri Ramakrishna there. So many other disciples and many other people also felt, yes, Sri Ramakrishna is very much living there. So that I can guarantee you that, yes, he is still there. In golden Varanasi, which is called Swarna Varanasi, there rishis and munis and so many saints for the last 5,000 years, they have got deep conviction that Bhagavan Shiva is present there. They say, Kashi ke kankar, sab Shiva Shankar. Kashi ke kankar, even small pebbles in Varanasi, you find Lord Shiva is present in that one. So Sri Ramakrishna is very much living in and through in Belur Math and in other centers also. When Swami Vivekananda wanted to immerse in Samadhi, in univocal Samadhi, Sri Ramakrishna was very much offended. He told, I thought you will be a big receptacle, you will be a big banyan tree under whose shadows thousands of people will take rest. But you seem to be very selfish. But afterwards you see how Swami Vivekananda, he started so many centers. So I was telling you the biggest contribution of Swami Vivekananda is, I feel, the starting of Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission, through which, like Bhagirath, he got the Ashirvad or the Kripa of Sri Ramakrishna flow through this organization. Now it is going everywhere. For the grace or Kripa of Sri Ramakrishna to flow, it needs some conduit, it needs some medium. So this organization is there, through which Sri Ramakrishna, Ma Sharda Devi and Swami Vivekananda, they are doing all these things. When we associate with this organization, we purify ourselves, we make ourselves worthy to work for Sri Ramakrishna and Ma Sharda Devi. It accelerates our own spiritual growth. While standing before you, I remember when Sri Ramakrishna was one day at Panchavati giving his teachings to his disciples. That time, Keshav Chandra Sen and Vijay Goswami, they also came there. And hearing the wonderful words of Sri Ramakrishna, Keshav Chandra Sen was deeply moved. He asked Sri Ramakrishna, Sir, will you allow me to publish your words in my magazines and newspapers? Sri Ramakrishna was in a high mood. But after some time, when he came to the relative life, then he said, the bhava, the message of this place cannot be preached through magazines and newspapers. When time comes, even 100 Himalayas will not be able to obstruct that flow. So now we find that Sri Ramakrishna is actually working in this world. When an incarnation comes, a revolution comes in art, culture, dance, literature, in fact, in all walks of life. That's why we find new current is coming in every field of life. Ramakrishna Mission has got 240 branches, including sub-centers, spread over 26 countries. It is a big force to reckon with. And there is demand for opening more and more branches, but due to shortage of manpower, we are not able to affiliate those centers. The activities that we conduct can be broadly classified in 6 categories. One is spiritual and cultural activities. 2, education among the masses. 3 medical services, 4 tribal development, 5 that may be philanthropic activities or welfare work, and lastly, relief activities. So, let me first say about this spiritual and cultural activities. In almost all the centers, we have got temples where so many devotees come morning and evening. They participate in our activities, in our temple worship and other lectures. So they get new energy, new hope, and new strength, and then get down to work. So they find a lot of joy. Not only that, they purchase our literature and share it with their friends and relatives also. So a lot of work is going on in all our centers. And what an amount of literature we have produced. Bhagavan Buddha, after his realization, he spoke certain words to his 5 disciples at Sarnath. In those days, Sarnath, it was a very remote village. There was no media, there were no newspaper reporters, there was no internet and other things. But strangely, within 500 years, the development of Buddhism, it started from, you can say, from Afghanistan down to Indonesia. Within 500 years, Buddhism spread everywhere. Similarly, when Sri Ramakrishna was talking to his intimate disciples in his room at Dakshineshwar, he used to see that all the doors and windows are closed. But the words he uttered, the divine words he spoke, they pierced through the walls of that small room and spread everywhere in the world. His Kathamrita, which was recorded by Master Mahashaya, Mahendranath Gupta, he afterwards wrote that Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, or Ramakrishna Kathamritam, and he started publishing from 1902 up to 1932. In 30 years, he brought out 5 volumes of Kathamrita in Bengali. Later on, they were translated into other languages. Swami Abhedanandaji Maharaj, he brought out, he also had collected certain teachings of Sri Ramakrishna, about 544 teachings, and got them published in America, that Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Later on, in 1942, Swami Nikhilananda, he translated Mahendranath Gupta's the entire Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. When Keshav Chandra Sen and Girish Chandra Sen, he was also a great Brahmo, a great preacher. When they came in contact with Sri Ramakrishna, they were highly fascinated by his message. They started publishing in their magazines. As a result, so many people came to know about Sri Ramakrishna. Girish Chandra Sen, he compiled 184 teachings of Sri Ramakrishna and published them in 1878. So that was the first book that came out during Sri Ramakrishna's time himself. Later on, Suresh Chandra Datta, he also brought out about 950 teachings of Sri Ramakrishna. Then Ramachandra Datta, he also brought out another book containing the Sri Ramakrishna's teachings. Then Master Mahashaya, I told you, he brought out 5 volumes. Then Swami Sharadanandaji, a disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, he published an authentic and detailed life of Sri Ramakrishna under the title Leela Prasanga, Sri Ramakrishna Leela Prasanga. Swami Vijnanananda, another disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, he published Sri Ramakrishna Charit in Bengali when he was in Allahabad, because people there will not be able to understand Bengali. He got it translated into Hindi and published it from there. So like that, many books, even during Sri Ramakrishna's time itself, it started going here and there. Swami Vivekananda, after his return from the West, he was standing in Belur Math, he said, the tidal waves of spirituality that have started to emanate from this place will deluge the whole world. And you find, even during Swami Vivekananda's time, Max Muller, a great professor of Oxford University, he read certain teachings of Sri Ramakrishna from Brahmavadin magazine, which was being brought out from Chennai. And he liked them very much. Then he wrote one small article in 19th century. The name of the article was The Great Mahatman. So through this article, many people in the West came to know about Sri Ramakrishna. Swami Vivekananda, when he went to London, he met Max Muller 3 times and requested him to write a detailed biography of Sri Ramakrishna. Even he supplied the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna also to him. And then sometime in 1898, he published one book. Its title was Sri Ramakrishna, Life and Teachings. So through this book, the message and divine life of Sri Ramakrishna spread everywhere in the West. Afterwards, Roma Rolla, he was a Nobel laureate. He got Nobel Prize in 1913. Somehow, he came into contact, he got one small book, The Face of Silence, written by Dhanagopal Mukherjee. Though the contents were not so authentic, but it had a very flowery language. He felt eager to know more and more about Sri Ramakrishna. He called Dhanagopal Mukherjee, he met him there in Paris. Afterwards, Miss MacLeod and others, they supplied him whatever books were available on Sri Ramakrishna Vivekananda. Roma Rolla, he didn't know English, but his sister, she told him everything about this. He read those books to him. And afterwards, he brought out 2 classic books on Sri Ramakrishna and Vivekananda in 1928 and 1931. Immediately, these 2 books were translated in Japanese, in Russian, in German, and in other languages. Like this, lot of literature we have brought out from Ramakrishna Mission. We have got so many publication departments in various publishing books in various languages of the world, French, German, then Japanese, and so many languages, and almost all the languages in India. Total about 5,000 titles we are publishing, and there is lot of demand. Christopher Isherwood, he was a great novelist in America. He also came into contact with the Ramakrishna movement. He wrote one book, Ramakrishna and His Disciple. After reading this book, so many Americans, they got interest in Sri Ramakrishna, and then they joined Ramakrishna Mission as sannyasis. Now you can understand how much impact this literature had on the Western mind. Afterwards, one Shipman was there, Richard Shipman. He also wrote another book. Like that, every day you will find so many books are coming out on Sri Ramakrishna Vivekananda and Ma Sharada Devi. You'll be interested to know that Swami Nikhilananji, when he was in America, he had a vision of Sharada Devi, asking him to write a biography on her. Then afterwards, he brought out a detailed life of Sharada Devi on Sri Sharada Devi. He brought out one wonderful book, and that has become very popular. Like that, when Swami Ranganathanji Maharaj, he was the spiritual ambassador of India. Indian government, they used to send him to various countries, right from 1954 onwards, and this he did for many, many years. When he went to Japan, there also he impressed so many people there. Now, as on date, about 40 titles they have brought out on Thakur Maha Swamiji, on Raja Maharaj in Japanese language. He also impressed the then ambassador of India to Japan that they should give some annual grant to our society there. I had the honor to visit that center about some 2-3 years back. They are doing wonderful work, and so many people are coming there. Likewise, our Ramakrishna movement has gone different corners of the world. About 67% Indians, we call them indentured laborers, they went to Mauritius. Now they are well placed. It is because of them, now huge institution has come up there. At least in one place we have got about 7 acres of land. In another place, about 2-3 acres of land. We are running one school, and so many activities are going. Earlier, that Prime Minister was there, that Ram Gulam, Shiv Sagar Ram Gulam. He was our volunteer. Afterwards, he became the Prime Minister of this Mauritius. Like that, the architect of Singapore, Lee Kuan, who became Prime Minister, he was also very intimate with the movement in Singapore. He told that with Ramakrishna Mission movement, they will teach us how to become tolerant, how to take the whole lot with our nation. They will enrich Singapore. So much regard he had for Ramakrishna movement. Likewise in Fiji also, Fiji Islands, about 15,000 kilometers from here. I went just about last month, I had been there. This center has been running there since last 80 years. We were the first to start one private school in Fiji. Now it is called Swami Vivekananda College. About 100,000 students are there. Most of the people, they have studied from our school, and they are well placed. In 2000, when that coup was there, many people, they migrated to New Zealand, Australia, Canada, and America. Now, these Fijian Indians, they have started one Vedanta society in Auckland, New Zealand. So, they are deeply indebted to Ramakrishna Mission. Government, they gave us 1,000 acres of land to develop it for agriculture purposes. When Swami Avinashanandaji, he went there about 80 years back, and those times people were illiterate, especially Indians. They were engaged in farming. They were so poor. But he enthused them, he gave them education and gave them strength also. Then afterwards, Swami Rudrananji went there. For about 46 years, he worked very hard. He led a movement for the improvement of Indians there. It was he who started this college there. And these Britishers, they were exploiting Indians in sugarcane industry. He made a big movement and drove away that Australian sugar company from there. He became a national hero there. Likewise, many other sadhus, they have contributed a lot to Ramakrishna movement in various parts of India. Now I come to this education among the masses. Swamiji, when he was going as a wandering monk in India, he saw poor people, their condition was wretched. He was eager how to improve their lot. He decided to go to this America and earn some money by dint of his intellect. But afterwards, when he went to America, visited various places in Europe and London and other places, he found that lot of development has taken place in proportion to the spread of education. Then he decided, even if the whole money is poured in one village of India, it is not going to help them unless they stand on their own feet. So he thought, no, what we need is education, education. So for spread of education, he brought Nivedita from England and she started Nivedita Girls' School. Afterwards, many other institutions came. The first institution where we started at Gurukula Vasa, a residential school, was at Ramakshi Mission Devgar in Bihar. So that was the first school. It came sometime in 1924. And now it is one of the best schools, CBSE schools in India. Then Swami Ramakrishnanandaji Maharaj, he was an apostle of Sri Ramakrishna to the south. He established one orphanage where about 700 students are there, orphans. This Brahmanandaji Maharaj, he used to call that it is a palace for the poor, because everything is born by mission for their sake. Now many of them are scattered in various parts of the world, and those very people, those very orphans are helping Ramakrishna Mission. Many devotees, they started Vivekananda College also there. Afterwards it got affiliated to Ramakrishna Mission. So like that, as on today, we are having more than 500 schools of various grades, 14 colleges, then 2 schools of languages, and then coaching centers are there. Lot of work is being done. Then in the field of medical sciences also, medical work, we are running 14 hospitals, about 151 dispensaries, 63 mobile vans. Then we are running 7 School of Nursing and School of Colleges, these nursing colleges. So a lot of work is being done. In the field of education, we are spending 375 crores every year. Now you can understand how much we are giving importance to spread of education in India. And in the field of medical services, we are spending 265 crores every year. Then that's why so many hospitals are coming. We are working in various parts of India. And every year, more than 81 lakh patients we are treating. So this is a great contribution that Ramakrishna Mission is doing to the world. Then I come to tribal welfare activities. Ramakrishna Mission, we were the first to carry education in remote parts of Arunachal Pradesh. After Chinese war, we started first center in West Siong at Along. It has become a huge institution. Then afterwards, we were insisted that we should start one more center in district Tirap at Narottam Nagar. There also it has made a big name. Then we started the first hospital of its kind in Itanagar, the capital of Arunachal Pradesh. That is the only hospital you can say in whole of state. When it was started, the total population of Itanagar was hardly 45 people. Now several lakh people are staying there. Even 1 inch of land you will not get there. If anything happens to the chief minister or to the governor, they have to rush to our hospital only. Army, they also bring patients from distant places in a helicopter. We have got helipad there, and they drop those patients in our hospital. We treat them, and then afterwards we send them to their respective houses. Recently, the government of Arunachal Pradesh, they requested us that we should open one more school in East Kameng. That is a very backward district near China border. We went there and started one more school. Similarly, the government of Manipur also, Manipur, they also requested Ramakrishna Mission that we should do something, because their young generation, they are migrating to various parts of India because of insurgency. Good schools are not there. Their students are studying in our schools at Narendrapur, then Purulia, Devgar and Mysore. Chief Minister requested that we should start one school. Just about 4 years back, we started one school. When everything was over, then I went and met Chief Minister. He told, no, Swamiji, I will give you 150 crores. You start some more schools here. I told, no, enough is enough. Now state government also should do something. Then in Narayanpur district in Chhattisgarh, which is infested with Maoists, it is a huge tract of land, about 25,000 square kilometers. No army, no police, no government official can enter in that area. Abusmart, it is called Unknown Hills. But we in distress, we can go anywhere. Since last 30, 35 years, we are working there. We are doing stupendous work. And Government of India and other organizations, they have given us several awards for working in those areas. Because government is not able to do anything there. So we have to help people to stand on their own feet and decide their fate. So it was very nice to talk to you. I pray to Shri Ramakrishna. I invoke their blessings to give us love, devotion, a spirit of commitment and renunciation, so that we become true participants in His divine Leela. Namaskar. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat.
The speech is very much informative, which every devotee and admirer should know that these things are going on. Anyway, I only like to add one thing. We have heard that when Swami Atmasthanandaji was working in our Rangoon center in present Myanmar, now of course it is not there after nationalization, then Aung San Suu Kyi, Nobel laureate, now probably president or head of the state, she was a child. She used to come to our Ramakrishna mission at Rangoon with her father. So she was known to our Atmasthanandaji Maharaj, previous president of our organization. That is for your kind information.